What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I am back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the bottom of the map in the light blue color, also known as teal, also known as cyan, also known as sky blue, also known as the scroll speed is too high. His name is Redo, and he is playing as Thor. We have a team game here, ladies and gentlemen. So his partners today in the green color playing as Zeus. His name is Ulysses, and in the yellow color playing as Ra. His name is Killuminati. Their opponents today, very, very strong team up here as well, is in the pink color, in the purple color, whatever you want to call it. I don't really know. His name is I Kill You Die, and he is playing as Set. His partners today in the red color playing as Loki. His name is Squash, and finally rounding out the team in, did I say opponent again? Teammate then? Whatever it is. In the blue color playing as Ra. His name is Mariano. The map is Anatolia, and this community team game, these guys just playing some video games against each other and trying to prove who's the best gamer out there day in, day out. I love this map in team games. I think this one's it's gotten slightly stale in the very, very upper echelons of team game play, only on the fact that the teams have decided what the meta is. And I'll explain why I don't believe that the meta is exactly what they say it is, and the fact that if there is a meta and you know your opponent's doing something, that means you can do something else about it. So, what teams are doing on this map is one player is going onto the bottom side. He's going to be sitting by himself. The other player is going to the top side with his partner. This forward player here is going to be defending the back player's fish so that he can play super aggressively on the land. On top of that, the player down the bottom is going to be tributing their resources. Actually, the bottom side of the map is probably a little bit more, a little bit less of the tributing, more like of a 1v1 type game plan. But the player at the top is going to be tributing his extra resources over to the Loki player in the middle or the Loki player on the side. It doesn't matter. The Loki player is going to be spamming out Herser, rushing Mythic Age, and causing a lot of pain and havoc on the map. Now, that's the meta, and if you expect that as the meta, then you kind of say, all right, well, if that's all you're going to do, there's plenty of strategies you can do on this map that could arguably beat that, especially with regards to this slinging idea. I think the slinging idea is really, really important. Ideas such as utilizing an Egyptian player's shifting sands with a Zeus player to shifting sands hoplite into a naked base. Idea being, your opponent is playing Loki. He sends all his Herser forward to raid you. You get the shifting sands. You shifting sands into the Loki's base. You kill said Loki player's base while he is killing your base. You come out in front because you've got the Egyptian players' towers or whatever helping out, and all the other good stuff that comes from that. So that's just one example. Plenty of other examples. I think Gaia can be pretty good here with the help of a Thor to deal with the Loki. Idea being that you can go for a really, really fast rush on the Loki player, potentially kill the town center before he even advances, do like a 4-minute advance time for both the Gaia and the Norse and the Thor player, and you can potentially kill the town center before he even hits the classical age, because they're going to be going for the classical age at about 5 minutes and 15 seconds. Lots of different options. However, in this specific situation, Redo playing as Thor, Ulysses playing as Zeus, and Killuminati playing as Ra, this is the other counter. This is a more standard down the line counter. I'm going to get rid of this thing over here, and we're going to go in with this. Can I get rid of it? Yeah. So that's that. Okay, so this is more of a down the line counter. The idea of playing Thor to defend against the Loki is that you get Ragnarok with Thor as a Mythic Age god power, which turns all of your villagers into Ragnarok heroes, which are very, very tough to stop for the Loki player. And you get to match the Loki player's Herser by making your own Hall of Thane's Herser, which is 100% what we're going to be seeing here in this game. As we already see, Squash in the center of the map, temple up, houses coming down, spamming the Herser out, ready to get going. We'll see exactly what his plan is going to be here. There is looking like there's a little bit of an imbalance, however, on the bottom of the water. On the water over here, I Kill You Die is by himself with Redo and Ulysses being on the bottom here. So we'll see how that's going to play out. There's a world where both Redo and Ulysses can kind of both go on the land at the same time, play together in order to defend against Squash, while also killing I Kill You Die on the water, winning both sides very, very nicely. We'll see if that's what's going to happen here or not, as we do see a longhouse is already down for Squash. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's going to be placing like 3 or 4 longhouses down, spamming those Hersa out. Moving ahead, we do see Ulysses is going for the military academies here, as the Shifting Sands has been utilized onto the villagers here, not actually getting a whole lot of value out of that though, as the villagers just walk back, jump onto the pine trees here, gonna move in and take out the rest of these units, no problems. The military academies might be spotted here though, so Ulysses is the actual player who's going to be going for the hoplite spam rather than the Norse player here, keeping the Loki player in check. The Zeus player is going to be doing the stuff. Now, we'll see. This is the thing right here. Illuminati, has he gone through Shifting Sands here? Answer, no. So Illuminati not quite being the team player that he should have. Definitely Shifting Sands here from the Ra, utilizing that to help the Zeus player get that sneak attack onto the Loki player. You want to stop the Loki player getting a free heroic age, and he's going to be hitting that heroic age really, really early on in this game, as the Redo longboat's going to have to get pulled back. Not able to quite match up against the set just yet. Playing defensively here is generally the way to go. Illuminati and Mariano duking it out on this top water for the time being. Nice ship advantage actually here for Illuminati at this moment, but the question is always going to come down to Micro fighting underneath the right amount of docks. Mariano's got 2 docks here, which Illuminati is fighting under, which does basically mean that Mariano being down ship numbers here, so long as he's dealing damage, he should be okay, but he's not quite Micro in this one as well as Illuminati, it seems, as Illuminati is just putting his foot on the gas, trying to take out these cabinets. Meanwhile, in the main base of Redo, the units are starting to come in here. Iron spawn hoplites coming over here to deal with this one. There's a troll here from Redo who can use that to take out the Iron here on that location. The troll taking down some dwarves over here. Redo in a bit of a difficult position here, as the pressure from Squash is starting to mount. Hall of Thanes coming through here. The Iron here getting sacrificed. Can't really save that one at 3.0 speed. Going to be taking that one out. No problems where that's concerned. And now Ulysses going to be starting to look to put some pressure on to Squash's main base, or the middle of Squash's base. Another option from Ulysses is, instead of to move out, just track wherever the Loki Hersa are going, try and defend the raids, hit heroic age as fast as you can through Apollo, and then he can go for an underworld play. Meanwhile, over here we do see I Kill You Die moving forward. Great micro from Redo. Redo's got the bonus damage of 10% on these, or 1, I should say, not 10%, of 1 on these longboats compared to the cabinets of I Kill You Die. But I Kill You Die has got the range advantage in these fights. So it's a difficult fight to actually win. But if you've got the ship numbers, you should be able to find the victory from both sides. As Redo pushing forward, you definitely don't ever really want to be retreating here, especially when you have this number of boats. Both players above 15. Definitely a very, very easy fight to take, and I Kill You Die not happy with that one just yet. Restoration being blown there, unfortunately for Ulysses. He's getting a little bit caught out, as Squash is going to attempt to defend this one. The Hoplight's doing some good damage here against those Hersa. Great micro from Ulysses, pulling his Toxotes over here, trying to do what he can on this position to keep his units in a good position. Hersa coming through for Redo as well to help out in this fight, potentially to take out some myth unit spawns, but Ulysses decides he needs to retreat back away from here. Meanwhile, over here on this position, we do see Illuminati still taking out Mariano's cabinets. We've got cabinets up on the top side of the map getting taken out as well, but it looks like Mariano has held there for the time being, as Redo losing his troll Squash in a great position. Ulysses coming back in with his hoplite segment on the way now for Illuminati. A relatively quick segment here for Illuminati. We'll see how much that's going to help. Generally speaking, I like especially in a team game, maybe less so in a 1v1. In a team game, going through Hathor on these sorts of maps, especially when your partner's got units out and your opponent's a Loki play, you can use Locust and potentially end a game at like the 10-minute mark with a brutal Locust onto potentially their gold villages there, especially with the idea of doing that shifting sands Locust play. Could be really, really brutal. But great micro thus far from Ulysses. He's managing to win this fight, dealing with all of those Herserk here. Squash trying to continue fighting this one, but it looks like he will have to retreat back here out at the end of it, not able to take a fight. Toxotes do beat those throwing axemen, so he has to pull out of there at that point. And he is grabbing himself a second town center, continuing to pump units out. Maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to start making some raiding cavalry. I'm not sure I quite like the throwing axemen here from Squash at all. I think maybe Herser raiding cavalry would have been a more team game orientated comp rather than the throw and action, but he will be able to take out those hoplites nicely anyways, as Mariano looks like he is pushing in, and Illuminati is in for a world of hurt right now, as it does seem like Mariano is going to be winning the water over here, which also means that Squash is going to be winning the water. And then we see the war barges coming out. War barges, never really a great unit to be utilizing. They're really expensive. They get taken out before they get any value, really. You can kind of add one or two into a composition of archer ships, but generally speaking, those war barges, they just die way too fast before their damage comes out. But we are seeing Illuminati attempting to hold this water as best as he can. Meanwhile, in the middle of the map, villagers here ready to drop a Migdol, start pushing forward or something like that there. Still pressure in the middle over here, and a shifting sands onto this position from Mariano. Will Illuminati notice this or not? There's no Locust to stop this one. Hathor just about to pop here as well. 80% of the way through, he might be able to get a Locust onto these villages and put a stop to this Migdol stronghold from coming up. In fact, he probably will be able to. Town center is up. Hathor just about to pop. Will he be able to stop this one? Oh, he's going for the villager attack. Does he Locust this? Yes, he does. Villagers get pushed off of the Migdol stronghold. Migdol stronghold not quite going to be finished. Or will it? Not going to be finishing there. Or he does finish it, actually, as the Locust doesn't quite work out. Meanwhile, in the middle of the map, Ancestors getting dropped, helping Squash stay alive as the army has to retreat back for Ulysses. Meanwhile, over here, Ridu has dealt with some docks. Does he have himself Burning Pitch? No. Burning Pitch is a weird technology that comes very unique to, at least in the classical age, very unique to Thor, as we do see Eclipse coming in. And what it does is it allows the longboats to actually clean docks up really, really fast. It's not a technology you should rush, but if you have won the water, you can get that Burning Pitch out, clean up the water very, very fast. It can be a very, very big help for your team in those situations, as the Scarab here with Eclipse taking down that town center very fast, but not fast enough. Town center going to live. Mariano going to be able to hold on to this location as more war barges are coming out here for Illuminati to start raiding. He's probably overdone that one just a little bit. Probably worth it to start making some hammer ships to raid at this point, but definitely needs to be going in onto the land as fast as he possibly can. Villagers trying to shank down this town center. Mariano with a commanding lead now on this position. And we'll see if he's going to be able to convert it to take Illuminati out and potentially prevent Illuminati from getting any gold on this position. Also fortified town centers through as well. Another option here for Illuminati would be to go to the Mythic Gauge through Horus here. Tornado this. Potentially you could take this out with Tornado and some Siege. But we'll see how things are going to continue. As Squash searching around the map here. Still looking for things to raid. Bragi coming through now for Squash as well. It does look like the Heroic Age has come through for Ridu. He's got himself access to Skadi here if he wants to use it. Still no second town center, so no ideas of rushing Mythic Age here and rushing Ragnarok out. He could go for a fast Fimbulwinter, which is always going to be a strong move, as Ulysses is getting pushed back now with I Kill You Die, making a forward movement. He's got those Scorpion men here, going to be a big, big help in this one as Ridu retreats back. We'll see what Redo can do to defend against Squash, who's 2 town centers. He's got a very strong army and is in the main base of Redo right now. Meanwhile, we do see some more Scarabs coming through here to try and take this one out, but fortified town centers is up. You see the Chariot Archers targeting down, focus firing the Priest there to try and deal with that one. But nice micro there from Mariano, going to be ducking in and out of the fortified town center. Where that's concerned, we'll see if he's going to be able to finish that one off. Looks like he decides against it. The Scarab will die and will take a lot of the HP off of those units, but Illuminati needs to retreat back for the time being, and Siege Works now coming up to try and push through on this location. Meanwhile, over here, Illuminati only with a handful of fishing ships, as Mariano's ramming galleys are going to come through and deal with all of those. Meanwhile, we do have an underworld passage that has pushed Squash's villages back here, ladies and gentlemen. And the raids coming for Redo here is the Chariot Archer Scorpion Man army looking for some big value. You got to be really, really panicky here with Set, not focusing on this Zeus, not taking the Zeus down is going to be a difficult thing to deal with, as Tier is also coming through for Squash. So the amount of economic damage that will be coming through is going to be very, very brutal, as the villagers are being caught out on this gold mine. Redo not paying attention. Tons of villagers falling here. This could be absolute disaster for Redo. He still hasn't noticed too much going on in the game for him, as he finally realizes villagers make a dart for that tower there, but the majority of those villagers have fell in that raid. Great raid from iKill. That's going to be huge. Meanwhile, on the main base, though, Ulysses has taken Squash's town center out, and everything is chaos here for Squash. He's got a town center up. He's spread his villagers out nicely all across the map. He's got himself access to a gold mine here as well if he so chooses, but he will be hitting that Mythic Age very, very shortly, as this game is going to be a game of trading position on the map. As the town center has fallen, Illuminati is dealt with what Mariano's had on this position here. The units retreating away right now, as the army continuing to bump in and out of this underworld passage, searching for stuff to kill. Villagers are spread out really nicely here for Squash, as he's able to continue along. This tier is going to be a big, big indicator as to where this game is going to go, because one, you're going to have out the free your model over here to come and move and potentially take out some of Illuminati's fishing ships, but more importantly, where are the Fimbulwinter spawns going to come from said Fimbulwinter? As he hits the Mythic Age, going to be clicking that one up very, very quickly there. Rain from Illuminati, nice play. Rain blocks God Powers. That's going to be slowing down any sort of Mythic Age shenanigans, or not shenanigans, slowing down any sort of tier, literally just tier, and that's going to give a little bit more time to Team Illuminati, Redo, and Ulysses to hold on in this one, as Ulysses' army retreating back. He still has to deal with the impending threat of I Kill You Die, as Redo pushes forward with his thrown axeman on this position. The army is out, but he doesn't have the counter to those Chariot Archers here just yet. Generally speaking, the counter to Chariot Archers is going to be, for the most part, Hippocon, but because Ulysses had to match up against Squash, he doesn't have them. One thing Redo could do here, however, is make Huskar, which would be a great answer to the Chariot Archers over here, but doesn't want to do it just yet. Are we seeing some Fenris Wolves? Not just yet. Fenris Wolfbrood's really, really strong. Did we see the Yormid Elva moving forward? I don't see it moving forward just yet. Oftentimes, it just sits idly by and people forget about this one, but it's such a strong unit. 40 damage per second is an insane amount of damage per second, as now Illuminati starting to push forward here against Mariano. Mariano's only got Chariot Archers at this point, as the Siege Towers are so important in this matchup of the Chariot Archers spammage. Villagers obviously do take Siege Towers down very, very fast, so you've got to be concerned about that. Fimbulwinter now coming through here for Squash. Where are the spawns? Spawns in the main base of Ulysses. Spawns over here. Looks like Redo's been left alone mostly, as no spawns in the main base of Illuminati, but on the front, they do come through, and they're going to be hitting these villagers here, getting a little bit of damage onto this army of Illuminati, but Mariano getting himself up some more. Siege Works up on this position. We do see raids coming through from Illuminati, trying to find something to attack town center. Coming up on the back here for Squash. I like that play. Mariano's taken the town center here. He's got 3 town centers here. We see the town center coming up for Squash here as well. So he's not out of the game at all. Both teams now going to be up to their 3 town centers apiece. Illuminati needs to get this back town center very, very fast here. He's delaying it a lot. He's getting himself the fortified town centers out on this position, but definitely needs to see that that town center coming up as soon as he possibly can, as heavy chariots also coming through. Mariano going to be retreating for the time being, but he's done a lot of damage over there as we do see Rudy pulling back. There's still going to be a big Ragnarok coming here in this game. If we take a quick look at this, we do have 55 villages for Redo only, so not as many as you might expect at this point in the game for a Thor player, but he's got 3 town centers. He's going to be pumping them out. He's also got the fishing ships up as well, as I Kill You Die still making his way forward here. Does he have farms up? He does have his farms up in the main base, so that's going to be helping him out in this game pretty nicely as well, as the Chariot Archers trying to break through on this position. Ulysses needs to... I don't know if he needs to move away from this composition, but it is allowing I Kill You Die to get a very good amount of value utilizing Chariot Archers against Zeus. Generally speaking, you don't get this amount of value from Chariot Archers as set against Zeus, but this is... obviously, this is the way that Ulysses has been forced to play here. You can always build stables, can always move away from this, but hasn't yet done so, as we do see the Scorpion Men coming through here. Heracles is out as well to kind of deal with those Scorpion Men. Meanwhile, a bit of a standstill over on this position. Both players' teams have not gone for any raids over here. That Yormadelva is still sitting idle there as Squash. I think Squash, he doesn't play with any mods. And by that, I mean UI mods, and he doesn't play with idle military banner on for some reason. I don't know why, but he doesn't, and he just does not realize that that's there for the time being. I'm sure he'll pick up on it at some point if he hits that idle military button at any point in the game. As Ulysses pulling back, the Balder is now on the way for Redo, and this is where things get scary, because there is a trade route set up, but the Rag Heroes can just push in, block that trade, push everyone off of gold, and there's enough resources or income for Team Redo that he should be able to get boomed or tributed back resources to keep himself alive and well in the game after the Ragnarok finishes up. So big questions here for Mariano, Squash, and I Kill You Die. Can they defend this or not? As Squash sending his Herso forward, going to be searching for some sort of chaos to put here. He can drop a temple down here if he goes, or even a hill fort. I don't mind that play in the slightest. Straight on to this trade caravan route here, as the team Redo, he does manage to come back with enough help there as a tornado on this position. Love that. Town Center going to be going down. Potentially also Fortress going to be going down. That's going to help I Kill You Die through on this position. Mariano says, I don't need it over here because, well, one, the Town Center of Illuminati's got fortified Town Center, so it's probably not going to go down to a tornado. But more importantly, giving I Kill You Die the advantage in this game is going to be very, very helpful here, as the rain comes down, slowing that Balder down yet again. Both players from both teams, both Ra players from both teams here, smartly utilizing that rain god power as a blocking god power rather than anything else. We also got farms up here for Mariano, so he's going to have a ridiculous amount of economy to come here. And I wouldn't be surprised if Mariano was just feeding Squash a ton of food here, so he just can continue to pump these Hersa out as villagers moving forward. 30 seconds remaining as the Hersa searching through to take everything out. We've got a hill fort coming up on the back here. Illuminati, I'm not sure he's able to spot this one, just out of line of sight of that town center. Nice play where that's concerned to get that one up there. No temples to come down, so no like Fenris Wolf plays, but idea of going for Huskal here. Brave Huskal. Bravery is an upgrade that gives Huskal bonus damage versus buildings. Could definitely be thinking about using that one. As the raid's continuing on this position over here, we do see I Kill You Die breaking through this fortress here. Really, really nice. They're going to be able to take that one down eventually here in this position. And Ulysses is in a lot of pain. We see I Kill You Die, 4 town centers. Migdol's stronghold is up, still stuck in this heroic age. for whatever reason, not going through the Mythic Age just yet. We've got the we've got the Son of Osiris through for Illuminati, so deciding to go for Osiris over going for Horus here. I'm not sure I really like that play. I think Horus with the Tornado potentially onto a Squash Town Center. Squash has got himself Architects. I guess that wouldn't work. Fortified Town Center over here potentially could be utilized to help Ulysses get back into this game over on the bottom. But Squash has now got himself the hill fort up, and he's making himself portable rams here. Love that play. There's the Ragnarok coming through for Redo, as he's got himself 271 population here. Very, very big Ragnarok. We'll see if this is going to be enough to bring their team back into this game here. That's the wrong one. Let's go for this one. If he's got enough to bring the team back here, as he's starting to push forward, he needs to break through the I Kill You Die or break through the Squash base. I think going after Squash's weaker Norse base is going to be the right play here 9 times out of 10. Reason being, no mercenary, no less HP on the buildings, all of the good stuff that comes from that. As the Rag Hero is pushing forward, you can also move them in and look to get some walls up or some side builds yourself. Meanwhile, the portable rams coming after this position as Mason's going to be coming in. We do have some Rag Heroes coming through to tear up these buildings and put a stop to this side build that Squash has successfully started, but it will be a distraction at most. And a distraction might be all he needs, as the Rag Heroes breaking through onto this position as well. Going to be tearing down I Kill You Die's Migdol spam here, as he is... I mean, I Kill You Die's got plenty of Chariot Archers out, but he doesn't have the upgrades here. Could definitely utilize some more resources. If we take a look at Mariano's economy here, doesn't have a whole lot of resources to give, in all honesty. But if you take a look over at Squash's, I think it's this one. No, Squash's, not Squash. I Kill You Die. He's got no food. Giving some more food over to I Kill You Die wouldn't be a bad idea here for the team of Mariano, Squash, and I Kill You Die. We'll see if that's going to happen at all. As Mariano, Village is back over here. I'm not sure what he's planning to do at this point. As Ulysses has started to make some Manticore here. That's funny to see, but Manticore are very, very strong. They're an underappreciated unit, incredibly useful at killing off many a different thing. But we'll see if they're actually going to get the value that they normally would. Especially against Set. If you can get some pre-stat, you can take them down fairly simply. Meanwhile, over here, the Rag Heroes need to get pushed back. Temple getting taken out. Fire Giants coming through. It looks like Redo's population has dropped down to 160. He's got plenty of resources in the bank. He does have a trade route as well, so it's not that big of a deal that he doesn't have any income at the moment. He's going to be able to get that income going fairly shortly as well, as Illuminati's still trying to break through here with his own towers. But the Mercenary, they keep coming, and they don't stop coming. Got to get some walls up here to protect your catapults, or just continue making siege towers. As, I mean, the big problem really at this moment, though, for Team Redo, Illuminati, and Ulysses is that Ulysses is on 2 town centers, and I Kill You Die is on 4 town centers, though. Mythic Ages come through here for Ulysses. He decides to go for Hera. I don't know if I like Hera, because against Set doesn't have a fantastic option to deal with Colossus. You can just send the Colossus forward, you can just take out the town center, but against Hera, all you've got is Heliopolis. And while Heliopolis are going to be strong, they're definitely defendable with a 4-2 town center advantage. So I'm surprised Ulysses here is going for that one, as we do see some hill forts coming up here for Squash. There's more trade coming through onto this position. Chariot Archers getting pulled back, or getting pushed forward as more towers coming up. But look at Mariano. Mariano's economy has skyrocketed to the stratosphere. He's got himself ballistic towers. He's got all the upgrades in the world. He's probably got a ton of, an absolute ton of resources to give to his teammates or villagers. A ton of economy, income. As we do see the Lightning Storm gets dropped down, but Redo, he's still got a lot of HP remaining after that. Oh, that's his teammate. He does pick up everything here. He needs to break through onto this location here and kill I Kill You Die as soon as he possibly can. Heliopolis is starting to come out. Illuminati still struggling to push forward. Villagers on the front here need to get sorted. There's nothing really going on the back. The wall's getting set up by Mariano to ensure that no side builds come through here. Meanwhile, Squash getting himself set up in the middle of the map here. Ulfsark's coming out. He's gone through Tier, so he's probably going to have Berserker Gang. He's gone through Bragi, so he's got himself Swine Array and Call of Valhalla to boost those Ulfsark. They're really, really strong late game units, especially in team games where they can just run across the map and cause some chaos. And so we'll see this hill fort still sitting here, partially built, that he could potentially get up as well. As Team Illuminati getting themselves this Titan gate up. Let's just ignore those walls here. I'm not sure why he's doing that. This is generally frowned upon, but he's doing it to protect his Titan. If you want to protect your Titan gate, just put some walls around. Normal walls around is completely fine. These wall segments are frowned upon, so let's just ignore that that's a thing. If it's in a tournament, you'll normally get told to take those out. There's the reason why. He's done it, and let's ignore that. As the fighting continues, and the Heliopolis gets dragged back, I mean, we'll see if Ulysses and his team can break through this. The army of I Kill You Die is starting to get very, very strong here. Migdol Stronghold coming down onto this position as well. Heliopolis starting to move forward. As Redo. I mean, Redo's probably back up to population in terms of his villages, but he still needs to get a little bit more going to stay alive in this game, as Squash is just starting to strangle over here. Towers coming up all over the place. This town center is the big threat here as well. But Redo's got Fire Giants, and Fire Giants are a difficult unit for Norse to deal with, and a difficult unit for anyone to deal with, in all honesty, as we do have a cheeky hill fort getting dropped over here. One Squash Ulfsark putting up one hill fort. That's a funny idea. I'm surprised he's doing it. Mariano now getting himself his own Titan gate out. He's halfway there. The Titan of Illuminati will be finished up on that position, but will Redo be able to defend this town center? He's at 102 population, not quite able to get up to full population. Honestly, wouldn't be a bad idea for Redo to have deleted this town center and gifted it to Ulysses, as we see Frost getting dropped down, Flaming Weapons getting dropped here. A bit of a trade where that's concerned. One thing Squash could do, and he is doing it, is he can just delete his units at this point. He can just delete his units, rebuild them, and he's going to have the Flaming Weapons. He's got all of the income. Look at his income right now. He doesn't need any of these Frosted units alive anymore. Just delete them, rebuild, no problems. And now he's got a Flaming Weapons to utilize for the rest of this position, while Redo's Frost is going to be wasting away. As the Titan Gate gets dropped down immediately for Mariano. He's got a bit of chase here to get through here. 70% of the way through for Illuminati's Titan, but the Titan going to be coming up for Mariano. Generally speaking, you don't see the Titan being able to traverse the entirety of the map and stop an opponent's Titan. Generally speaking, that doesn't normally happen. As the town center here of Redo does fall in the center of the map. Redo going to be attempting to rebuild this one here, or build this one for himself here, as Ulysses is still not quite able to break through onto this position. I wouldn't mind seeing like some sort of a wall get set up here, Petropolis here onto this town center. Wouldn't have been a bad idea. We see a Titan Gate coming up for Ulysses as a bit of a desperate attempt here to break through. There's a world where I Kill You Die might even get some catapult onto this and prevent this one from going up. It's already up to 500 HP, so not going to be easy, but the hill fort is now up for Squash, and he is putting Redo's trade route out of business here, completely putting a stop to it. Hill forts, towers is going to be all too much here for Redo to deal with. As a Titan about to pop for Illuminati, town center still coming up on this position as more Ulfsark are pushing through, and in that moment, with a lighthouse getting put up here, we do see the team Illuminati, Ulysses, and Redo tapping out as Mariano, Squash, and I Kill You Die taking the dub here, ladies and gentlemen. A really, really nice game here from these players. A little bit of an Easter egg here for you guys. have a quick read. Really nice team game here from these guys. Lots to learn about how you can play as a team much better, utilizing gold powers like shifting sands a little bit more usefully. Would have been the only kind of thing I would have liked to have seen here. You could see that Eclipse didn't really give Illuminati a whole lot of advantage here in this game. In fact, I think this game would have been much more difficult for Mariana Squash and I Kill You Die if a Shifting Sands was utilized onto the Greek Hoplite army to absolutely annihilate Squash's main base in the early stages of the game. However, didn't happen in this one, and Mariana Squash and I Kill You Die do manage to find a victory here. If you guys enjoyed this one, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next game.